All right. Let's see. Where am I at? All right. Here we go. Hey, guys. Welcome to our Thursday night call. I just realized I was having a funky hairdo day. It's kind of funny. So we are excited to do this with you every Sunday night. And look, Lisa and I always get excited when we do this. We don't care. Like last week, we had 40 people on. Tonight, we have 15 people on. We just know that this call is making impact in tons of lives. Every week, Lisa and I get to read emails about things. And tonight, last week, we had Shauna Muckalo. If you guys have not had a chance to go back and watch that, I've already put some of the things into action that she has told me, and I've already made about 5 appointments for this coming week, okay? And I'm only here Monday through Wednesday this week. My wife and I are going to California this week to be a part of our mastermind with Cole Hatter and Thrive, and we're super excited about that, guys. We just know that the things that we're going out and putting into action, and then we come back and be able to share them with you. And guys, to be a part and to be around, you know, at the last mastermind I went to, my friend Chris Harder spoke. Chris makes $1.5 million a year in network marketing, and he has 5 other sources of income. So I think it's great when you get to be around people who are not just setting examples, but they're teaching and they're going out and doing those things. And so tonight, I am actually, let me find where I can share this with you guys. And here we go. All right. So I am going to I actually did hit record. Okay, so I actually I'm going to find out where he is. And then I will. So look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Lisa read a little bit about our guest. I don't want to steal his thunder because I want him to share a little bit of his story with you guys because his story is amazing. And we just became really close friends with Tony. I think Tony's one of the greatest guys that is a part of LifeVantage, not only just as setting examples for what we do as leaders, but just a servant leader. Servant leaders in this business and in this opportunity, because guys, we may be in the network marketing industry, but we're in the people industry. And one of the best people that Lisa and I've had the opportunity to get to know is our guest, Tony Krashowetz, tonight. And so I'm going to let Lisa has like a bio of him. All as I know is he has like about 20 kids. That I do know. He has like 20 kids, I think, or 15 or 11 or somewhere in that range. I had a neighbor growing up that had 10. And I think Tony's beat that with 11, I think Lisa just told me. And I don't know how my neighbor did it. So I'm going to give Tony an even bigger medal. I know that God is creating a medal for Tony in heaven that's going to be gigantic, because any guy that can be a father to many and then a father to 11 kids has got my vote. So as you guys come on, just mute yourself as you come on. I'm going to let Lisa take this over and introduce Tony, okay?
All right, so you may or may not know, Tony and his wife, Mari, live in St. George, Utah. Mike already kind of said it. They've got 11 children. Mari had triplet boys. Can you believe that? Tony had 6 boys, 2 girls, and 5 grandchildren. Looking forward to many more. You guys are a busy family. Tony's been with LifeVantage for like 9 years. Used to drive a long truck. I was a driver, relocation specialist, aka mover. For 23 years, drove around 2 to 3 million miles during that time. He's grateful for being introduced to LifeVantage and network marketing because of time freedom. All those kids, he needs time freedom and grandkids. And the personal growth that he's gone to. And boy, can I attest to that. His passion, obviously, is teaching and helping others do the same. So thank you, Tony, so much for being our guest here tonight.
And Tony, I think you're unmuted, but if you're not, I think you are. Okay,
can
you're
you
unmuted.
guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, man. We can hear you fine.
Awesome,
Can everybody hear Tony okay? All right, awesome. Tony, the floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's great to get to know you and Lisa here the last year, and really appreciate both of you and your leadership. And thank you for having me on your team Zoom here. Guys, if you don't know me, I've been a part of LifeVantage coming around the third base, heading to home towards 10 years, a decade with LifeVantage. I love it. I wouldn't change anything about the 10 years and the experience I've had here. So as Lisa mentioned, I used to be a long haul truck driver. I moved furniture. That's what I knew. My whole family was in the moving business in San Diego, California. My grandfather ran a moving company for 45 years. And so at one point, I can remember everybody from aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, mom, dad, everybody was a part of that moving business. And that's what I did. I became a part of it too as a teenager. When I got out of high school, I moved to Seattle, went to work for United Van Lines, worked locally, got married, started a family. And then by 1993, at the ripe age of 23 years old, I decided to buy my own truck and trailer. Excuse me. The reason I did that is I wanted to make more money. Does anybody on here want to make more income? Just give me a thumbs up if you do. I mean, I realized at like 22, going on 23 years old, that I capped out on my pay at $14.50 an hour, and I get a little raise, you know. And that would be it. And I thought, what else could I do? And so I talked to some long haul drivers. I had an older brother that was a long haul driver, and found out I could make a lot more income, but the trade-off was being gone. And so initially we didn't really suffer that consequence because we went everywhere together. My little boys, two oldest boys, should say little ones, are 28 and 26 now. They've been in every state. And so we traveled everywhere together. And of course, as we had more and more children, and then those kids started hitting school, we started to feel that separation in our family. And so for several years, that played out where I'd be gone for a couple of weeks at a time, and I'd come home and be home for 3 or 4 days. And my wife, Barbara, back then, she would pack up and meet me places just so we could get a weekend together here and there. And so we did a lot of crazy things to try and have family time, because at the end of the day, whatever we're doing to create income, our whole goal is to do it for our family. I mean, we're trying to pay the bills, you know, a better life for our family. All the things that we're doing work for is to better our family's lifestyle. But there's a time gap, and I recognize that. And I was starting to have some thoughts about that. I just turned 41 that year, and so I started to feel a little bit beat up, had a couple of knee surgeries and a shoulder surgery. Moving furniture is not nice to the body, and I've been doing it since I was about 14 years old. And so I was in the moment of trying to figure out what else would I want to do with my life when LifeVantage came along. And I'd never done network marketing before, and I'm skeptical like most people and resistant because I just didn't understand the industry. But after seeing the ABC primetime video and seeing meeting Clinton Boyles, it intrigued us. And so I'm the kind of person that, you know, if somebody shows me something and I'm interested, I'm going to go at it until I figure out if I'm going to do it or not. And that only took me till the next day. And by the next day, my wife and I was like, let's do this. This has a chance to get me out of the truck. Let's go for it. And why not? I mean, this looks like a great product. From everything we could tell, it looks like it's unique and different. And so we jumped on this awesome business of LifeVantage and in the industry of network marketing. It's been an incredible journey. I mean, 10 years later, all the things that I've experienced and learned in this industry, one thing I can tell you that'll help you as a distributor is become a student of this industry. A lot of times we struggle with this business model because we don't quite understand it ourselves. And here's the key: we're not sold out. We're not entirely all in on this deal. And I'm telling you, the ones that are in the elite ranks and gone to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and on to 12, they have sold out to the business model of network marketing, that it's awesome, it's good, it's a platform where we can help many, many people. And then you couple that with our product line, it's a win-win situation all the way around, because not only do we have a business model that can help us financially and create leverage, create that time freedom we're looking for, we also have a model with LifeVantage of these advanced products that everybody's going to be using in the future. And that's what's very exciting about this. So here's just that's just a little bit of my story. And of course, I'm in a completely different place today than I was 10 years ago. I do have a lot more time freedom, but here's the thing: I'm not done. Nowhere close to being done with this deal. Sometimes even as a Pro 9, because it's pretty decent income, people say, how come you keep doing this? I mean, if I was making 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, I think I would probably, be like mostly retired. Like, depends on your vision. It depends what your goals are. It depends how many people that you want to help. I've got a lot of commitments out there, and I continue to make these commitments because I love people. I don't ever see myself ever being, I don't know what retirement looks like from a network marketing point of view, and especially with this company of LifeVantage. I see myself involved in some aspect with this ongoing, but it does give you options. So I just want to give you a few key things that you can do to one is sell out to the business model of network marketing. You know, I find a lot of people struggle with that, and it shows up in the invite. They start inviting people, and then people start unloading their garbage on you about what they think about network marketing and their thoughts and their views on it. And it causes your activity to really get minimal, if any at all. And so find some things that can help you overcome that hurdle. Me, I started reading books. I started listening, like Paul Zane Pilzer, Robert Kiyosaki, started looking at the other people that have knowledge and understanding of this business model have to say, John Maxwell and many others, even Anthony Robbins, you know, on what they look at this business model of network marketing. Once you check that box off and get it out of your way, you are so much more effective as a distributor. You don't have to be trying to decide what you're going to build a business today or not, or if you're going to invite or you're going to database. All those things are going to be put to bed because you're going to be building a business because you know this is what you want to do, and this business model is good. So let's just get us down to some basic core principles and behaviors. And I know we hear these things over and over, and I'm not going to talk so much about gathering. There's lots of ways to gather in social media, pen and paper. I know that everybody can get on their phone and they can look at that database and find hundreds of people on there. There isn't a lack of resource there on a database, but it's just our ability and our decision to go ahead and move forward and open that database up. Play this little trick with yourself when we get off of this Zoom and go look how many contacts you have on your phone. Because I even do this when I teach an LBA, because you know what happens when we sign up or we sign a new distributor up, they don't know anybody. I only know 5 people or 10 people. You know, I kept hearing over and over from several leaders in our company that the average person knows, 500 people or more by name and face. And yet we go and get on our phone and scroll to the bottom and we see we have 500, 1,000. I've had people have 3,000 or 4,000 people in their database on their phone. So there's plenty of resources. You got 3, Mike? The lowest I've ever seen is like 200.
3,000.
Yeah, like 200.
I got 3,000.
3,000, yeah. So there's a huge resource sitting right there in our pocket, on our desk, in our car. Here's what I'll tell you about that database, because this is one of the skills that we need to get good at, is get that database put down on paper. Don't play Russian roulette with your database on your phone and do the scroll thing, where you're like, who's my lucky person today that's going to get a call from me? That's just not good. It's okay. You're just kind of shooting from the hip, but really get focused on that database. Here's what I encourage you to do. Get just a piece of paper out, get a notebook paper out, write down 50 names and numbers, and have that database with you wherever you go. Have them people staring at you while you're driving in your car, you're sitting in your office, you're at home. I tell you, a good one is tape it over your TV set. Put that database right in the center of the TV so it bugs you, and you keep seeing these names of these people that you wrote down that that you could reach out to and share this opportunity with. And to continue to build off that database, but I call it an active database, and always have at least 50 on your persons all the time. So you could build this business in the nooks and corners of your life. And a lot of times we want to say, we're going to get to that later. We're going to, when I get home next week or on Monday, I'm going to start building my business. I'm going to sit out on my desk and start making phone calls. And what happens is something comes and takes it away from us. Really open your business up and plan out on your calendar and get serious about how many hours you're going to put in. So there's 2 things you can do to track your activity level in this business. One, calendar out whether you want to do it electronically. I like pen and paper and a planner, and put down how many presentations a week that you're getting. Put down how many invites you made. Put down how many follow-ups you've made. And then actually calculate the hours. Punch yourself your clock in and out of your business and start totaling that up every week, and you'll start to see the real activity that's going into your business. A lot of times when I talk with distributors and they're struggling, the first thing that I want to go back and look at is say, okay, how many presentations have you got in the last 2 weeks? The last 3, the last month? And it's very telling why there's a lot of struggles going on in their business and very or no activity at all, is because they're just not really reaching out and getting into that database and making their invites. So we just follow these core behaviors. And this is what I've been taught since day one, 10 years ago. 15 presentations a month or more, and we can do a lot more than 15. Attend the trainings. We got Life Vantage Academy, Elite Academies, Convention. For those of you that have been getting on our Zooms with Building Depth, we got them 2 times a month. We have Building Depth Zooms that are just absolutely fantastic. We have almost close to 30 elite distributors that are teaching these principles and behaviors on the first Tuesday of the month. And the third Tuesday, we do question and answers. You are going to find every perspective, every background, every personality to be able to answer specifically for you. And you're just going to pick up such golden nuggets off of those Zoom calls. And then we have our Building Depth trainings quarterly. Our next one's down here on June 7th and 8th. Just following that system and that pattern of the behaviors month after month after month is going to yield you a return on your business. This is, again, sometimes we think we'll go around the corner and what are they really doing? You know, how are they really building this business, you guys? This is it. And what you got to do is take that foundation of building this business and those principles and then match it up to your schedule. And you're going to start seeing some holes in that schedule where you can get better at building this business. And I know a lot of it is right in those 15 presentations a month. The reason why we need to attend these events so frequently and why they're important is they keep us going. They keep us in that motivation. They keep us in that being inspired to go out and get those presentations done, and so that we can go out and capture this company, because this company's in momentum, you guys. I hope you realize that this company, that upswing that Darren's been talking about, we're in the beginning stages of that momentum phase of this company. And I was part of what you would call the initial launch phase of the company. It created around 350 elites. Now we're going to go from 200 million to possibly 800, maybe even 1,500, 2,000. And the question I have for you, are you going to be one of them? Are you going to be one of those elites that captures this momentum wave that's coming in this company? Because it doesn't happen by osmosis. Just being here isn't going to get it done, or just watching it happen. I always do this analogy. It's like watching a football game and you're in the stands and you're sitting there looking at the game, watching it. You're like, man, that looks pretty cool down there. You might even go down to the sideline and actually hold the clipboard or something and think, you know what? I think I might want to even get in there and get on the field. Well, what you do is you want to be on the field with this baby. You want to get out there and be in the action part of building your dream and building your vision and your goals for this company. So those are just some of the thoughts I have for you today, you guys. I really appreciate you, Mike and Lisa, and having me on here. There's so much that we can tap into here. Just be willing to roll your sleeves up and go to work. And here's all you got to do is you got to change you. I had to change me. Everybody's got to change ourselves on how we think and how we act. And everybody can learn how to build this business and take it to the elite rank. So thank you for having me on, you guys. You're awesome.
Hey, brother. Thank you so much. Hey, guys. And here's
awesome.
Here's what's really cool. I wrote some things up, and I know it's backwards on the screen. I don't know why. It's sometimes the Mac is like that. But guys, Lisa took notes. You know why? Because every time you do something and you hear from someone of Tony's caliber, you take action. You take some type of action. And look, this may be stuff you've heard all the time, but there may be one thing that you hear differently from Tony that you can use to take action. Like, I just got myself out another notebook. And I've already said to Lisa that because you guys know that Lisa and I got an office outside the house, and it's made a world of difference for us. And look, a lot of you can't do that, but you can find a safe place inside your house where you can go and eliminate distractions and do exactly what Tony said. Take action, be intentional. Guys, I said this last week, okay? And I'm going to go over a little teaching about how to present in front of the room that will make you a better presenter. And I heard this from a Navy SEAL 2 weeks ago, right? And one of the best things about that is that not only can you learn from multiple sources when you're doing this business, but as I said, it may be that one thing. But let me explain something to you. The number one thing that I just took away from Tony that 90% of us are not doing is we're not being intentional with blocking out the action of whether we're building online or we're building with our database. Guys, if you have 1,000 people in your phone, that's really 5,000 contacts, because the average person signs up on the 5th touch, okay? I can tell you that most of our new distributors that Lisa and I are signed up, I'm signing up 2 this week. One of them was a distributor back in the beginning when we first got started, and now has to re-sign up again. Now, you guys know that nobody can be terminated anymore. That's changed. But back in the beginning, if you didn't go without an auto ship for a year, you can be terminated. Well, look, that's not the case anymore. So we have people that started at this way back in the beginning and are realizing how significant this is, and they're coming back, and they're coming back to see you, Tony. They're coming back to LifeVantage, and that's happening even with people who've just been customers, and they're coming back too. So I want to share just a couple of these little quick things with you guys so that you guys can see really what this is like. And now look, this was done by my friend Yost Jansen, who I'm actually interviewing for my podcast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., which I have to prepare for that after this. Yost is a former Navy SEAL, a SEAL instructor, almost died several times in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's taught Michael Keaton how to shoot a gun in the movie American Assassin. He's getting ready to be in several more movies. He's been a consultant and an actor. And I just want to show you some of the basic things that he taught me that now, and I've been through several speaker trainings. One of my mentors who has this event called Thrive every year for entrepreneurs, who a lot of LifeVantage people are going this year, which is awesome. I've had 5 in the last couple of days call me and ask me about it and the dates and what to expect from it. Because, guys, you have to invest in yourself in more than just being a network marketer. You have to invest in yourself as an entrepreneur. You have to invest in yourself in personal development. You have to be around more people so that when somebody tells you no, another person tells you, hey, I'm interested in listening. It's got us massive contacts and massive ways to build both of our businesses, okay? And so I'm going to start off, the number one thing that impacts a person's business is the capability to speak with confidence and competence in front of a large or small group. So think about that. That you must speak with confidence and competence in front of, whether you're speaking with 3 people in a coffee shop, in a room of 10 people that you're presenting to, no matter what, you have to be confident and competent about the information. Just like Tony said, you want to be a student of the game. You want to be somebody who knows what you're saying when you say it, and be up to date on different things. Because as this thing gets closer and closer to really going up that grid and really hitting momentum, which I believe it'll happen before the end of the year, you need to be confident. Because people are going to start coming back to you, right? You're going to be able to go back to distributors who quit and show them what's happening. My friend who's signing up again, she was signed up by her boss, and now 6 years later, she found 3 bottles of Protandim that weren't out of date, started taking it, had phenomenal results because she was never serious about taking it when she took it back because her boss just told her to, right? And now she's getting phenomenal results. She's done her own research, and she understands she wants to be a part of something special. So this next one I love. I love what this says here. It says, a leader is a person with vision. You just heard Tony talk about it. With the ability to articulate that vision so vividly and so powerfully that becomes the vision of others. If you want to be a leader in LifeVantage and in life, and maybe it's in your church, or maybe it's in your being a better husband or a better wife or a better father or a better mother, you have to have vision. Guys, you guys know me, you guys know my faith. The Bible says people perish for not having vision, right? You got to have vision. You got to be able to articulate it. You know, I can stand before you today and list a mile long of mistakes I've made since being in this business and relationships that I messed up. But thank God for God's grace, I've been able to go back and mend relationships and do things, because we're all still growing and evolving, guys. We all have to find our vision and our passion. So I love that. So let's go on. And then look, here's step number one. Step number one is passion. The single most important ingredient when presenting to anybody, whether you're doing a tear-off presentation, right? Or you're doing a slide presentation, you have to be passionate. Obviously, you guys know that that's my big point. I'm super, super passionate. When I was speaking this morning at church, I use these very techniques that I've learned from Cole, that I've learned from Yost, that I've learned from Nicholas Bailey, guys that are out there presenting in front of the room, something that I love to do. And you have to love to do that or you'll never be successful. We all hear this and we think it's cliche-ish, but we hear person in front of the room does what? Makes the most amount of money. And guess what? It's true. Okay. Hey, if you guys just came on, just kind of mute yourself. I know there's some people that still haven't kind of muted themselves, but okay, I found who it was. It's okay. So number two, bless you.
Excuse me.
Speak to one person now these are things that you do during your presentation, right? Okay. Speak to one person and rotate every 3 to 5 seconds. If you talk to everybody, you talk to nobody. But if you talk to one person, you talk to everybody. Ronald Reagan. I watch this when people do this. You can tell people who are confident in front of the room. They're looking at different people. They're engaging people. It's why I love going out and teaching Life Vantage Academy, because you get people involved in the conversations. You bring people up in front of the room and have them share their story. That's what's important, because people want eye contact. They want to know that you're listening to and observing what's going on in the room, right? I can see people's posture. And guess what? You know the number one way to get somebody in the room's posture from this is ask them their name during the presentation and engage them in the conversation. You can ask my wife. I do it all the time, and it works 100% of the time. She can tell you every single time, okay? So let's go on to number 3. Pause. I did it today in church. I was reading from a book about how to be a better giver in a tight-fisted world, right? And I pause. You know, you don't have to say or some of the words that we're going to talk about here in a minute, which I used to do. I just self-examined myself, and I pause now. I wait for people to respond, and then I move on. It's very powerful, okay? And then you have to move. Don't stand in one place. If you guys notice me, I do it even when I'm on these Zooms. Like I move around in my seat, I get up and I go, and I get a hat because my head's nappy, right? I do different things, right? Why? Because I don't want my feet in concrete, okay? And I can't remember all these slides, but also you don't want to do the leaf thing. I think that's one of them, but I'll get to that in a minute. But here's the thing you want to concentrate on more than anything. I think this is one of the most important ones, is no more one filler word per minute. Stop, think, and speak. No more, yeah, like I said, I mean, okay, sort of, all right, like, kinda, you know, well, so, those type of things. Try to cut those out. You can see it, no more than 1 a minute. And then here's the X factor. And I want to play this little video for you guys tonight because we're doing really good on time. I want to show you, this is a video of Lou Holtz that I want you to show you what the X factor is. You made me think about it too much. Okay, so let me play this video. Hold on one second. Let me stop and make sure I got the video thing turned on, because sometimes I forget to do that. Share computer sound. There we go.
There you go.
All right, so hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me get this playing.
And would you please welcome Lou.
Bobby Valentine, who I have great respect for, followed his success as a player, as a manager, asked me if I would do the magic trick. And you requested it. I wasn't going to do this, but particularly for the younger players that never seen it, one of my goals was to learn how to do magic. I like to do a simple little trick for you, just like any other newspaper. You have the front page for people who want to read. You have the comics for people who can't read. And we always have the editorial page for people who can't think. The main thing is you have to have a faith and you have to have a belief. Now, as I said, like any other newspaper, people can criticize you, people can tear you up, people can find fault. And I firmly believe this in the bottom of my heart. You can succeed when absolutely nobody believes in you. You have no chance to succeed if you don't believe in yourself. People can criticize you, find fault, point out all the negative things about you. I think in the long end, you have to have that faith and you have to have that belief. That's really what Notre Dame's all about. It's about belief. Games are not won by the biggest, fastest, strongest. Doors are won by magic. It is won by the people that really, truly believe in miracles. Somebody said, how do you do that? Perfectly, I thought. I really got no nice screaming because I can't figure it out either. But I just want to say, when Luther John is proud to represent Notre Dame, and it has really been a delight to be with the young people here, the players. And so, thank you to Chuck Lynn and everybody else for putting this thing together. And I always look for reasons to be thankful. Thank God this isn't an annual day. Thank
you. Okay, so guys, I don't know if you guys have ever heard Lou, but you guys notice how he kept people laughing. He made eye contact with people. He did something that stood out. When you're presenting, okay, you want to use something in the middle of your presentations to keep people engaged. When I'm presenting at Dr. John's office, I will tell some stories in the middle relating to some of the slides I may be using. Okay? Because look, people want to know stories. They want to know why you're doing what you're doing and what effect it's had on you. Like there's people on here right now that got in this back when we got involved pretty much. And now we're back involved. And we're super excited because we've always believed in them and just knew that they had the potential to be phenomenal, right? It's why you never give up on people. And look, here's one thing I like. Study yourself. There's a scripture in the Bible that my grandmother instilled in me. It says, study to show yourself approved, right? Okay? Here's what you do. You lose over 80% of your effectiveness when you read. Now, look, if you have a slide presentation, I know a lot of guys that will read a little bit of it and they'll recall all of it because it's something that they've went over and over and over, right? It's the same thing I do when I'm out in my Life Advantage Academy. I will read some of the things because I want to bring emphasis to it, but I don't read all of it. I use it in context because I've went over it and over it and over it, and I know. Don't read the sign.
And if you still aren't 100% on the material and stuff, it's okay to have an outline of it. Bullet points that'll trigger your memory as opposed to reading paragraphs at a time. So it's okay to like have note cards or have notes with you, but don't like write the entire thing verbatim out. Do it in an outline form because people can tell the difference too if you're like referring to an outline and you're going through it versus just reading it off a piece of paper, looking up, reading it off the paper.
And let me tell you what Yost does. And this is a guy that is a Navy SEAL, trains actors. He has note cards, okay?
Yep.
And he does bullet points on the note cards, right? Guys, I wanted to put my story in here, but I wanted to tell you how Yost really got everybody in the room crying. And Lisa will tell you that I do this when I'm teaching Life Advantage Academy about 2 to 3 times during the presentation, the 4-hour presentation. And I do it whether it's 30 minutes or long. I get some emotion to touch the audience. Be emotional. Guys, it's okay to be emotional. People are attracted to people that are emotional.
Raw, it's reality. It's transparency. They know you.
So
you've got feelings.
This was Yost's family dog.
Oh.
This is it when it was started with the kids. And obviously as it got bigger, and you can see in this picture here that it wasn't doing very well. Okay. And so when they got about 3/4 of the way up this mountain, Yost found out that the dog was not doing very well. And so he picked it up on his back, this big 70-pound dog, and they went on, and he got to the bottom and he put it in his truck. And by the time he got it to the vet, the dog had passed away. And you can see, here's a picture of the kids with it when they got back. Very emotional type of thing. Oh. And what they had known is it got bit by a rattlesnake on the way up the mountain, right? And they didn't even know it. And by the time they got back down, the dog, it was too late. So use some emotion, show some stories, show some photos, and talk about them. Talk about your results. Talk about things that's happened in your life. You know, your story. Russell Brunson, all of ClickFunnels is set around giving them a hook, which for us is the ABC Primetime, and then our story and what it's done for us, what it's done for our family, and then allowing an offer. Guys, I've been doing this all week, and yesterday, all day I was on 5 different websites setting up appointments and giving people information and taking them to a 3-way. Look, the 3 P's in your voice: pitch, changing up your voice to getting really soft, to being higher, to being low.
You're good at the high voice.
Yeah,
loud voice.
and the low too, and the low too, and then pitch, okay, fast or maybe slow, or the pace. I'm sorry, and then the power, driving some things home, and then whispering with some things, right? I try to focus on using all 3 of these in my presentation, and so should you, okay? And then the last one, I love this, smile. This is one that my wife and I just started talking about, starting in with a smile. Guys, smile is contagious. It releases hormones in your body that can bring healing to your body, that make other people smile. Guys, I end my LifeVantage Academy with a video, and I'm going to play that video once again. I've played it on another part of one of our trainings. If you probably haven't seen it, you go back and watch it. I'll find out which one it's at, and I'll put it in there for you guys.
Just put the video in the comments.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments when we post it. And it's a video from The Greatest Showman, and it's about Kiala, who was one of the leads in the movie. And one of the things that I really liked about Kiala is that she stepped into the role of becoming who she was called to be. She didn't care, about what other people said. She finally stepped into that role, and it makes everybody in the room cry. And then we smile together, and we all hug. And I tell people to give each other a hug and smile and say goodbye to somebody, and say it was great to sit with you next to you. It was great to get to know you. It was so great that you were here today. And guys, Yost went over these bonus tips, and I'm going to finish with this. It says, don't tell the audience what you're going to say. Just say it, right? Don't be afraid to use your hands. No, here we go. No fig leaves, right? You guys know that one. No fig leaves. Don't stand with fig leaves, right? Okay. No standing like this, right? Okay. All right. It's okay to use note cards. Make use of a theme. I have a dream speech, or today I'm going to tell you about something I'm super passionate about. I'm Michael, and not my name is, Lisa Huey or Lori Musgrave. I'm Lori, and I'm a mom, and I love horses, and I'm married to Jerry. Whatever that may be, right? Be natural, be conversational, okay? The best speakers are upbeat. Remember this, are upbeat, energetic, enthusiastic, and have a can-do spirit, okay? Have a can-do spirit. And so here's what he finished with: live, listen, learn, laugh, lead, love, live a legacy, and leave a legacy. Guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed Tony and that you were able to listen to some of the things that Tony shared, because I believe that as you go through this process, you want to learn as much as possible, as often as possible. So before we go, is there anybody that has a question maybe about the speaking part or something that Tony, or maybe something good that happened this week from something that you've learned the last couple of weeks? Is there anybody that wants to make a comment or share a win, or maybe share a loss that you've grown from and learned from? Does anybody want to make a comment? Just unmute yourself and you can make a comment. Hey, Mary. Anybody? Don't be shy, guys.
Is that list of all the L's going to be on your replay?
Absolutely.
Perfect. I missed a snapshot on it. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I'm going to put it right back up for you now. There you go. Anybody else have a question or a comment? Did you guys enjoy did you enjoy, oh, Chris, 32 people added to his business page, had 800 post engagements. There you go. Boom. Now you take those people to the next step, right? Create a conversation, build a relationship. That's what he's doing every single week. Guys, imagine if he does that every week. Okay? Imagine if he does that every week. Okay? 52 weeks a year, you guys do the numbers. Okay? You guys do the numbers. It's a lot of people you're engaging with.
Hey, this is Linda, and
Hey, Linda.
Chris shared. Hi there. Chris shared with me an article on Friends Who Like Science-Based NRF2 that is very pertinent to Bev, who is signing up for products. And so I really appreciate Chris pointing that out to me, and I sent it to her. So
Awesome.
I like the teamwork. Thank you, Chris.
Guys, and I wanted to tell you guys that website that Shauna and Kimberly Kabinski put together, the Biohack
and
Activate. There's a video that you can give to medical professionals on there. Go back to every medical professional you've ever followed up with and let them watch that video. If they don't sign up, they're just stupid. Plain and simple. Seriously.
What was that website again, Mike?
Biohack
and Activate.
Biohack. www. Biohack and activate.com. Did somebody say something?
Thanks.
Never mind.
Is that it? Yeah. You okay, Linda?
Yeah. The site I referred to was the Friends Who Like Science-Based NRF2.
Yeah.
But you're saying the Biohack and Activate site?
Yeah, this is a site, just another tool for actually NRF2 only, Linda.
Okay.
And it's got all of the studies on here, every single one of them. It's got all of the patents papped out. It's got a healthcare professional video, an animal video. It's just a really great resource. Here it is. If you guys want to see it, here's the resource of it. It's got the patents, it's got the peer-reviewed studies. It's got, questions. It's got everything you need on here. It's got stuff on animals, canines, and equines. It's got a video on here with Melody Ridardi and Dr. Delusion. It just goes on and on and on with people who, and it's a very short video, but it's very powerful.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Comment or question? Guys, take some action this week. People are getting their taxes back. I'm telling you right now, people are looking for opportunity. You guys just aren't asking them. And you have to ask them to get started. I just saw Brandon post a picture of Stacey King. You know what? I remember the first meeting Stacey King ever went to, right? And I remember having a conversation with her that she told me, I'm a Pro 3 and I don't know what to do because I have all these people that say they're going to join and never join. And I said, Stacey, are you asking them to join? She goes, what do you mean? I said, did somebody ask you to join? And she said, yes. Right? I said, then are you asking these people to join? And she said, no. I said, then ask them to join. And guys, she just made Pro 6 last month. A mom from Valrico, no network marketing experience, working a job, and crushing it. Guys, be intentional. Build a brand, build a relationship, step out. Like, you know, one of the things I like that Yost said during his presentation was, he said, step outside of your comfort zone. You know, you can obviously tell that Tony was not comfortable when he first started network marketing, driving a truck all the time, right? So step outside your comfort zone, build a relationship with people. Go back to people that you've shared with before. Some of you have never went back and followed up with people. Some of you have shared with hundreds of people and never went back and followed up with you. Do you know that only 2% of you will follow up with a person 5 times? And 82% of signups come up on the 5th try? But only 2% of you do that. Why? Because you guys have something that can change people's lives. You have something that can affect the direction of a person's life, right? And, you know, you can never give up on people. It's why we don't. It's why we educate and educate and educate and educate. Because we don't care whether our check's $100 or $500 or $5,000 or $10,000. We're never, it doesn't matter. We've had massive slide back because people got distracted. But you know what? We're going to go rebuild this. We're going to go find it. And I'm going to finish with this. Here's what I've learned about doing exactly what Tony taught me, right? Is being a student of the game and realizing that when people get to momentum, when something gets to momentum, just like Apple did, and you guys know that we have a blue ocean with LifeVantage. There's guys, you know, and somebody tried to tell me that their company had like 30 patents on a product. And Chris knows this company because everybody in Toledo is in this company. Guys, not one product is on what the product does. It's all on the making of the patch and the fibers and all that stuff. Not one on what the product does. But yet they tell you, oh, it's got 30 patents, right? Not one on what the product does. Okay? So what do you have to do? You have to go out and expose people and educate them and build relationships and let people know, you know, what's happening, why you're doing this. Show people their why and lead them to the next step and get them on the phone. Most of you are not doing follow-up calls and getting people on a phone call or getting people to a presentation or getting people on a Zoom. There's Zooms every single day if you want. Okay? So I hope you guys have been encouraged. I'm super encouraged. Lisa and I are traveling this week. So I'm super excited to be able to do business in life with you guys. You guys are awesome people. I just hope that you guys will continue to invite people to these calls, encourage people. I hope they're as important to you guys as they are to me, because every time I get off here, I've learned something even greater about someone or about what we're doing. I just learned from Tony, and I got my new notebook tomorrow. I'm going through all my Facebook messengers and putting every single name in this book. I'm setting up a messenger bot that I'm going to start to send to people. As soon as they click on some of my stuff, it's going to show up with them and have a conversation with them. So, guys, I love you guys. I hope that this was as good for you as it was for Lisa and I. And we just love you guys, and we're here for you. Let's go make an impact in the world. Love you guys.